How y'all doing this Tuesday night, family? How y'all doing? I just wanted to get in here tonight and talk a little bit about wisdom and obedience. I was reading in Kings, 1 Kings chapter 2, as a matter of fact, chapter 2 and chapter 3. And it was when Solomon became king after King David died, after his father passed. And so Solomon became king, and of course he was young. He was very young. And so one of the things that Solomon asked for, he asked God for wisdom. He didn't ask for wealth. He didn't ask for, his enemies to be slain. He didn't ask for anything for himself. He asked God for wisdom. And because he asked for wisdom, God granted him the health, the wealth, the notoriety that came out of him asking God for wisdom. And I wanted to bring that up tonight because we got to stop and think about what we're asking God for. What is our motive and our reason for the things that we ask for? And if we're asking God for wisdom, with that wisdom, do we recognize the plethora of wealth and health that brings? Because wisdom from God helps us to make right decisions, good business decisions, good financial decisions, good relationship decisions, good health decisions, career moves, whatever it is, whatever that looks like. The wisdom of God helps us with that. But a lot of times we're going to God and we're asking for the wrong things. And then also along with that wisdom, it was about obedience. And God is so loving. I recognize that no matter what direction, when he gives a decree of something, he made certain commands that he wanted Solomon to follow. He made certain decrees that he wanted David to follow. And David had a heart after God. He was a man after God's own heart. And the major downfall that you see with David was when it came to Uriah. And he ended up killing Uriah, an innocent man, because he wanted his wife Bathsheba, which is Solomon's mother. But even with that, you see God's grace and mercy. And even when Solomon transitions into king, you see where God tells him. God lets him know ahead of time. And when we think about it and we keep it real, God lets us know ahead of time when before he already gives us a warning. Look, if I give you this, if I do this, this is what I want you to do. And if you don't do what I tell you to do, and you decide that you're going to disobey me, this is what's going to happen. He made it very clear what was going to happen if David disobeyed him. He made it very clear what was going to happen if Solomon disobeyed him, which he did end up doing. He ended up intermingling and going into partnership and building idols and stuff like that, being caught up with the women that God told him not to have nothing to do with these people from this particular country. God decreed a thing, but he already knew, and he already made it very clear of what the consequences would be. And if we are honest and we think back over our own lives, you recognize how God has told us not to do something. He tell you not to do something well before you even get to that place of even that being a thing that's going to cross your path. He warns you. This is what I'm bringing you to. But he also warns you and says, hey, I'm telling you not to do this. Don't go that way. This is not the right person. Don't go into this business. Don't take that job because you're looking at more money. Don't do it. Trust me. Sometimes he tell you to be still, but most importantly, he's saying obedience. And so we have to find the balance. We have to have a ear to hear God. Our spirit. He speaks to us spiritually. He speaks to our hearts. It's not a mental thing. But he's so gracious that he broke it down in plain English that if this is what you do, I'm telling you, I'm going to pretty much rain down fire on your head. And that's what he did. So today, ask God for wisdom, and the wisdom that he gives and the light that he sheds and shares and the things that he commands you to do. Make the good choices. Choose to trust God. He knows what's best for us. And I'm telling you, I've had to learn this lesson the hard way, and I'm still learning, honey. I'm still learning, but it don't take as long to listen, because I had some very hard lessons. So take the time to think about what you're asking God for. Think about the reason why. But ask God for wisdom. Ask the Holy Spirit into your life. Invite him into your day. That is what he's there. He's our comforter. He's our guide. He's there to help us. And we have to be obedient. It's a partnership. It's a relationship. It's not just one-sided. It ain't God doing everything. No. We have to decide that we're going to yield and we're going to be obedient to what he tell us to do. All right, y'all. Now that's out of First Kings. I implore you to read it yourself. Read it yourself and think about your motives and choose obedience. It's much better than sacrifice. I love y'all.